One.
Is it anybody out there? Read some words from my subconscious. Yeah. Borderline. I'm so bionic in my subconscious. I be spitting, I never run out of options. Wisdom and logic, predicted it like a Nostradamus. I meditate in silence, so much inventory in here. Anything you need, you can find it. Flashbacks of hard times, horror movies in my mind. Roll up the herb cause it helps me unwind. Look around here, ain't no telling what you might find. Old crimes that can't even escape my mind. Traveled the world, took so many notes, brought many clothes. All I seem to have is time, but tell me where it goes. Euphoria, paranoia from way before. Operate this computer with ancestors' codes. These be some words from my subconscious. Is it anybody out there? Words from my subconscious. Is it anybody out there?
Manifesting is the topic for today.
Proclaiming our power as the I am, wholeness.
Dispelling any separation, any feeling of manifestation being something outside of you or being something that you have to achieve or become. Part of what manifestation is that being in a third dimensional body or a third dimensional instrument vehicle, it is the conduit that projects. It is the conduit that ripples.
Born. The way you touch a newborn baby, you know, with that care. This is the way you should touch anyone you meet in this world. With that care.
And receive some light language activations. Feel free to get cozy.
And if we tune into our heart, or even use our pineal gland or crown chakra.
Hello, grand day everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Friday Expedition. On our last episode, we explored manifesting, and we went very holistic and very multidimensional with the aspects of manifestation. And we touched on being the human instrument of manifestation. So we went through the chakras, the aura, how manifestation works as it travels through our vessel. Along with that, we also talked about the subconscious mind, as well as your perception, as well as your environment, patterns, and many other things, along with some holistic tools and meditative light language practices. So, coming up on this episode, we are going to be exploring spiritual hygiene and self-care is our topic for today.
Proclaiming our power as the I am, wholeness.
Spiritual hygiene and self-care. Such a fabulous topic for this time that we're in. You know, all this shadow work that's going on, all these patterns that are surfacing, all of the memories and energies, karmic ties to previous lifetimes, if you're open to that stuff. I mean, there's quite a bit coming up, and I gotta say, it's tough for some of us right now. And one of the favorite reasons why I like to share this type of knowledge and information is because I really know how tough it can be, especially as an empath, as a spiritual warrior on this planet, someone that really is trying to hold love through the chaos and through the shadows of this dimension. And self-care is something that we can go so many layers with. And we'll talk about mental, emotional, and physical self-care. And I'm Marcus ChristoLight, and over there we have our co-host. I'll hand it over to him.
Thank you, sir. Yes, my name is Jarne, and what an exciting time. What an exciting time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We all feel things changing rapidly these days, and to keep ourselves clean, is important. It helps us to be, when stress arises in life, we can, when we are clean, our mental, emotional, physical, spiritual self, then what happens around us can't affect us if we aren't allowing it to do so. This takes awareness about your energy and your chakras, your main energy centers. Like, how does it feel for you when you are interacting with people? As an example, where do you feel it? Is it a clean feeling, or don't you know what to feel, how to feel, or why you feel that way? Know what you should do with the feeling inside of you, or with the words that someone says, and the way you feel, the way you want to express yourself, wanting to say the right thing, not the wrong one. There's so much that we can talk about, so yeah, back to you.
Yeah, this is going to be a fantastic episode. I just already feel it. And we have some things kind of just like prepared and ready for you guys to explore. And let's see. I'm going to kick off with the aura. And with the aura, I got this wonderful image that you guys can find on Google, just like I did. And you can just type in, I typed in polluted aura, and I found wonderful images, and this one I felt was the best to be able to use. And, excuse me. So this picture is depicting for you what it looks like on the left side to have a clean, pure, circulating aura. What's your aura? Your aura is basically your electromagnetic energy field around your physical body. There's many layers of your aura within it, which is your mental body, emotional body, physical, astral, causal, and beyond. So as you see on the left side is showing what it looks like when we have a beautiful, clear, fluid, and connected aura. We are the full spectrum of the rainbow, which is what the human being is. It's the full octave spectrum of the rainbow that we know, according to these senses. Now, there are more colors beyond these colors, but we are not able to perceive them through these human lenses. So when we have this activated, we have our energy body, which is also called the rainbow body in Buddhist teachings, is activated, pure, and online. And this is basically our connection and flow with source consciousness in our intuition. So now if you look over to the right, we have a diagram of what it looks like if we have a distorted, polluted, and malfunctioning auric field. And keep in mind too that these diagrams, kind of try to visualize them as third dimensional. And when I say third dimensional, as in motion and present with you right now physically in your life, as in tapping in the sensiness around you in this moment as I describe it to you. And what you see here is that instead of this aura being very circulating, radiating, clear, and able to have fluid motion, there's a lot of imbalanced swirls going on, and there's a lot of kind of rigid and torn up looking areas of where our aura would typically be rotating and circulating. So one thing also is this picture on the left, when we have this beautiful golden, white, pure, radiating auric field around us, it also acts as a natural protection shield. And when I say natural protection shield, it just means that your frequency is so pure that anything that is not of that purity that tries to come into that basically just consumes and becomes that purity. And that's the goal. If you want to really obtain a Buddhahood or a Christ conscious state while going through your living life, going to the store, going to your job, being around your family members during the holidays, those type of things where you're able to just be yourself because you're so clear and you're so connected that there is nothing to prove, there is nothing to be fearful of, there is nothing that you need to feel a lack of self-worth because of that fluid connection. So then when you move over here to the polluted side, you can see that there's a lot of misshapes going on. There's a lot of openings even. If you look over here, you can see that there's an opening at the top left shoulder. And that's because of an energy cord. So this cord of energy is an attachment to something outside of this person. And due to that cord, it creates basically a little alleyway for your natural, vital, Christ conscious energy to be seeping and leaking out of your field into that cord. And then into that cord, it goes to the outlet of where that cord is connected. And what would it be connected to? Anything that has an energy field. So anything that has a form has an energy field. This could be a person, it could be a place, it could be an item. It can even be a time, space. So along with this, it also keeps you susceptible to basically drawing in lower vibrational entities and energies when we have these type of openings in vibrational frequency. Along with that, it makes us a lot more dense and sluggish mentally, emotionally, and physically. And this can also manifest into bouts of like depression, feeling lost or lonely, disconnected, and much more lower emotions when we don't have this beautiful rainbow flow of light through us. So I just wanted to show these pictures as we dive into self-hygiene and self-care, spiritual hygiene and self-care, because, this right here is the metaphysical sense of, what self-care and spiritual hygiene really is, and like why we do it, and what it looks like if we're keeping up with it, and what it can look like if we're not keeping up with it. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and hand it over to our co-host over there.
Thank you. Like it's kind of, you said it before we went live, I think. You mentioned that you can feel it. If you look at the picture, you can feel when your energy is, when there's like, I don't know, something negative, or like, it's not moving quite right in your field. And like, for me, I like to focus always on like how it has to be. So I focus on the picture on the left. So like, we feel when energy is moving, like, and as I said, when you're in a conversation with someone in life, like you kind of feel if things aren't right, like in any conversation that you have, you feel when there's something off, when there's something not easy, easy in a way that also when things are difficult, what's fact. Like, and people, because we're growing up, nobody telling us how to take care of ourselves, or what's truth and not. For me as an example, not knowing what is true and right has been a real challenge. Like, and there are programs, that we collectively have, I'm still open to discover more of that I don't know, So for me personally, knowing what is true and what's not is like a feeling, is like an inner knowing, that I do not need to explain. I know what's right and what's wrong. Do not harm, have good intent, and look to be a kind person. So because we've not been told to be true, we've been, they told us lies in our childhood, our parents, caretakers. Like for me, one example that I want to talk about is like the, Santa Claus. Wir sagen Weihnachtsmann in German. For me, the lie about that, it's a fairy tale, or it's like a, people see it as something like that, which is okay, and I respect that. Though we're growing up and we've been told a lie with that. So Santa isn't coming, and the moment that I came behind that, I'm like, wait a moment, like they lied to me. So, it already starts to do something with my mind. Should I now believe in lies? Is it okay in order to have a fantasy to lie to someone? It's something very important that we got to talk about. And Christo, you may want to continue to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd actually like to go ahead and bring on the whiteboard. So I got a whiteboard for us, and this whiteboard can do a little bit of exploring of, some spiritual hygiene and self-care practices and tips. And basically we just go through the mind, and then go through the body, and then go through the emotions. And we'll just, share. And anybody out there that's watching, if you guys want to put in the comments anything that you feel, feel free. And we'll just create a nice little list for us. And then if you guys want to take a picture of it, you guys want to capture it in any type of way, you're definitely more than welcome to, as this is really just a list for us to be able to consciously be able to see together and reflect on, how many different tools, how many practices, and how many things we truly have accessible to us, and that we can really empower ourselves daily. So we'll start with the mind. And for the mind, I would say a good spiritual hygiene self-care tip for the mind would be
breath work.
Breath work is a good one. Absolutely.
You can type breath work to the other two as well.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. Just again seeing how one thing affects another. If you have the intention to work on your mind doing breath work, you have benefits in your physical health and your emotional health. So, yes, sir.
Absolutely. So another one I'd say for the mind would be subconscious reprogramming.
Mm-hmm.
So with subconscious reprogramming, we're talking about like diving into limited beliefs, negative thought patterns, self-sabotaging patterns, just like helping bring balance to the inner critic, as well as doing some healing or clearing of any memory attachments. And then also on a pretty deep level, just like propaganda, brainwashing, reprogramming from that. That's a part of all of it too.
Yeah, it's like everything that weakens you. Yeah. All right. I have spiritual practice, like definitely for me spiritual practice, because finding time to honor yourself and to just connect with what and who you are is time very, very well spent, and like a foundation, for your day. Doing it in the morning, as an example, taking time to sit down quietly and, listen to what, is coming to you, and don't try to do anything, but just sit and receive what's coming. Don't try to create something, just receive, listen.
I'm gonna put finding stillness.
Yeah, you're the manifester. You do what you do.
That's a good one. It's so key, man, because sometimes we just gotta really like just shut it down from the outside thinking and worrying about others and just what you got to do next and be in the future and the past, but just sometimes just lay on that bed and close your eyes and just take a couple of breaths and just let it all go.
Yeah. I've done this these days again. It's just like, laying down and feeling how gravity moves me down, but also the part of me, like being aware of that part of me, you know, that feels gravity, but then going into that part of me that is not affected by gravity or from gravity. This is,
Yeah.
you know, it's a very interesting practice. If you lay down, you just allow yourself to feel everything, you know, to really drop into the couch, into the bed, whatever it is. You know, allow the bed, the couch to hold you. You don't need to do anything, but feel gravity working, you know, doing its job, and then switch into, you know, that part of you that does not feel gravity. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So,
that's interesting, because I was
Mhm.
just thinking like 2 days ago about how, like, man, how interesting is it that, you know, this material body is just like assimilated here, and it's like bound, it's like literally bound here, but not bound at the same time. Like it's here, like it's, you know, it's not floating away, it's not sinking into the ground, like it's here standing,
Mhm.
and it's you got bones just chilling in place.
And
like,
try to understand this with your mind, bro. Try to get your mind around that, you know.
Yeah.
So stillness. Stillness.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, and I'm not trying to like bring religion up or anything, but, you know, it's kind of like the people that are always debating and fighting over like the shape of the earth or like what God is and stuff like that. And it's just like, you know, like there's so much to life that we really got to pick our battles, man. Like we got to really pick our battles.
Oh yeah. Mhm. Pick your
I'll put that
battles.
on there. Pick your battles. Pick your mental battles, that's for sure. Pick your battles.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. You know, you gotta be careful. In German, we have like something. Es gibt Vorsicht. You know, Vorsicht is like vor and Sicht are two different words. Vor kind of means in front, so everything that's in front of. So Vorsicht, and Sicht is like the sight. You know, so you gotta have knowingness or to pay attention to what's going to happen in your sight. You know, Vorsicht, you looking kind of, you know, you're calculating things out, you know, and you can only do this if you learn from the past. So you can't figure something out that's going to happen if it never happened that way. You got to figure out what's not happening in the past or what's not working in the past and adjust. But I just went down a black hole right now.
Alrighty.
Yeah, pick your battles, guys. Pick your battles.
So,
You know, one moment. Do what you want, not what others want.
Oh, I love that. Do what you want, not what others want.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we'll say not outside influence. Because sometimes, we can get influenced without it being a person.
You know, if their aura and yours are going and kind of melting into each other, you more so tend to do what others want rather than what you want, especially when they have a very strong energy about it.
Heck yeah. Yep. We all know that, I guarantee you. Especially when you get in those those heavily tied relationships.
Yes, sir.
The real test there. The real test of the sword. So another one I got for mental would be affirmations. Affirmations, I mean, very basic, very foundational practice that can be used anytime, anywhere, any situation. It could be standing in a line somewhere. You can just start, saying affirmations to yourself, or just try to uplift your energy through the way that you're talking to yourself inside. It's a very subtle thing, but it can really alter your mood and alter the influence of your energy as well.
Writing, as well, and as well as kind of writing affirmations, So it's just like something that you can do when you write something and you don't know what to write. Write down affirmations, and don't be shy to repeat yourself when you write down affirmations. You can't say often enough what you are and who you want to be, or who like to manifest your reality. It definitely helps.
Yeah, that's a good one. Writing and journaling.
Yes, sir.
So then also,
like generally, being creative, creative arts, like drawing, painting, those types of things, making music.
Creative arts.
Yes.
Creative arts and music. Oh, here we go. This is a good one. For my chakra people out there, you can do third eye chakra balancing.
Yes, sir.
Help balance that with the mind.
I'm still processing something with the third eye, and I'm just talking about it right now because it helps me to just like, integrate what happened to me around pretty exact. Whoa, that's crazy. Pretty exactly. It was 2020 Christmas. No, like December 2020, like 4 years ago. Time flies. So I was on a festival, and like I just started realizing the magic of life. Just watched Dr. Joe Dispenza as an example, and really started to understand the mind, and the third eye. And like I met a woman on this festival, and she came to me, and no, I won't go into the entire story, but the end of the story was I was seeing 3 eyes in her. So I looked right into her third eye, and into the third eye of everyone else. So I've seen the physical third eye in everyone that I was meeting on this festival, and I could tune into for another week and a half, and then it, I wasn't practicing it, it faded away as many things somehow do, and then they kind of circle back to you. But like every time or many times when someone talks about the third eye, I just get pulled back into this because, for my ego, this is not to understand. Like this is not a topic that my ego really is grounded with, or has difficulties to ground with. I really have to kind of be right here to like what that means even for me, because like it's not just that I'm seeing it, but the experience whilst I'm seeing it, and what I'm learning and downloading whilst I have this experience. This is what my physical self, Jarne, has to integrate and work with, because like it's not normal. Like fuck it, like it's not normal for like not human being. Potentially it is normal, potentially we will meet beings in the future who have those things like right here on earth, or we might be the ones who have that. So, but it's I couldn't talk with people about it because I wasn't quite sure like how to communicate this and if people understand me, and I didn't want it. I always felt like an alien my entire life, like I must say this, I always felt like not from here. And I received confirmation regarding that too, which wasn't easy for me growing up, not knowing where to belong to. If now I know I belong to the heavens. So this is something different that I know now, which I haven't had before, and like it was a process still to today. I can't talk with this about everyone, it's not even needed to talk about this, but for me it's a very personal thing. And like it also like a trauma that I kind of have to deal with, because like a trauma, we had this conversation about the German meaning for trauma last episode, like the word dream is in this word in the German version of it. So, it's kind of all part of that dream that we're living and that we're creating, and those moments in life that kind of have an imprint in our memory are so important, and now we can switch back to what you said, like the imprints in the memory that we choose to hold on to. This is something that I obviously choose to hold on to. But many people, this is something that brings me more towards self-actualization and realization, and like union with God and all that is. But many people, they attach to those shitty ones. They just attach to those shitty experience. And we gotta let them go. We gotta learn our lesson, or many people might not like to hear the word lesson, but we gotta need to learn our lesson, and we gotta see what like this traumatic experience, that experience that really has an imprint in our memory, is teaching us. It's the teaching in what you experience. With an open heart, easy to understand, with an open mind. Like it's very easy to understand if you have an open mind and an open heart. If you have a closed mind and a closed heart, you're not able to see the perspectives, the angles of life, and the different, like, and the meaning of life, truth, perceived from all angles, because love is perceiving from all angles, so when we are in the heart space, we perceive life as it is. And we are more so able to see something dramatic and something not right. Many things on this earth that simply not okay. It's for our heart. We can be that parent, and we can like still love and offer love, give the hand. And like if people want to take the hand, yes, welcome, if people don't want to take the hand, if people want to do what they want to do, like we got to learn to detach, we got to learn to let go. And how we can do this is asking ourselves, where am I in all of this? A key question. Where am I in all of this? If I know where I am in all of this, I know how to balance myself, like I have masculine, feminine, and right and balance, I'm centered within myself, I'm centered within my heart, I'm centered within my mind. And therefore I can see and choose, how to navigate with what is present. And every time life gives something to me, every time life brings a situation to me, because I'm here, it's my aura is clean, like my energy is flowing, my chi is flowing, and I know my energy. It's way more easier for me to discern what's right and what's not. It's way more easy for me to speak up when things are wrong, and to stop all of the things that I don't want on this earth to exist. Yeah, speaking up for those things and owning my energy, you know, like being so present and so like the inner strength is heightened every day that I walk this path. You know, it's a daily practice. But honestly, truthfulness starts with self. You know, do something like practice 30 days speaking truth only. And watch yourself if you can speak the truth for 30 days every day. Because if you're not, heavy road that you're walking on, but it's your choice. So if you want to be happy, you know, and happy is maybe a word that's not right for many people to hear. If you want to, you know, feel strong within yourself, who you are and what you do and why you do it, the way you do it, with who you do it, and how often you do it, you know, we gotta really go within and see where we are in all of this. You know, each one of us, where am I in all of this? You know, just receiving some energy, clearing here. Just blow the shit out, out of the collective. Yeah. You know, shit better comes out of our ass and not out of our mouth. So we gotta be true.
Wow, thanks for sharing all that.
You know, things for me they're downloads. You know, I see myself as a vessel for that information, because I hold that frequency of that information, and I don't know what I'm going to talk next about. I have no idea even what I talk about if I really in the moment.
Yep.
But you know, like when you're channeling source, when you're like in that frequency, you're a piece of wisdom. So, time to share it.
Well said. Wow. Alrighty. Well, I guess we can go ahead and navigate on into the body. So now we're going to touch on some spiritual hygiene and self-care techniques, tools, and practices that we can utilize in our everyday life for the body. And Starlight 916 on the IG side, she said, I like to hum or wiggle my body, dance, and stretching helps me relax. Yeah, it's a good combo. It's a good flow. Honestly, I make a lot of noises with my mouth throughout the day because I have a lot of energy coming through me sometimes, and I just gotta make some popping sounds or beatbox out of nowhere. I don't know. I gotta make sounds. I gotta get the energy flow when it's coming through.
Yeah, same. Like I'm whistling or I'm like doing things with my mouth, like for sure. Or sing songs, like I don't know where they come from. You just gotta have that joy. Yeah.
Yep.
Allow it to flow. If something wants to be expressed, let it be expressed. Allow it.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, so we'll move into the body, and with the body, I'll start with one, and that is exercise.
Yeah.
Exercise.
This was the one I had in mind as well. Easy.
Yeah, definitely exercise. There's a multitude of reasons that we could say, but the one thing I will...
we can list exercises as well, actually, right behind that. You know,
Yeah.
some things for people that they can do, like some visuals to it, or like some
sure.
exercises. Yeah.
What's one?
Definitely, you know, like for me, even let's keep it as simple as we can. Walking. Like a walk, you know, like to not
sure.
overwhelm people, but like have a walk, you know, like I know how it is, you know, having a walk is something beautiful. So yeah,
Absolutely.
walking, going to the gym, you know, but actually doing something and not just watching other people do.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord, you got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Even
see you
breath
out
work,
there.
you know. Your turn.
Yoga. Yoga is a
Mhm.
really great one for the body. And
Yes.
again, you guys in the comments, feel free to share any practices or techniques that you like to use to bring self-care to your body. I want to say hygiene, just like, you know, having good hygiene, lotioning yourself. Sometimes.
Like, yeah, hygiene, definitely. You know, hot showers, like, go and have a shower. Like, every time you have a mental clutter, fuck about it, the few cents or what it costs you to have one more shower, and have a shower. Like, having a shower, you know, if you don't feel right and you just feel like having a shower because you're cold, you're this, you're that, have a shower. It helps me so much these days. Now I was growing up and you know, I always had to hear that like I wasn't supposed to shower longer than 5 minutes, you know, if it was 10 or 12, like I always got something. But I just loved it so much, you know, because it felt so great, like having the water run over me. We have very clean water too here, you know, and where I grew up, so it was very pleasant. I could drink out of the tap, like it tastes so good. It just felt right. So yeah, nurturing hygiene, you know, have a shower, ice bath. Ice baths are great as well.
Yeah.
Good for your
Cold
body.
water
You know,
thing.
hot and cold, you know, exposure, I'd say. Hot and cold exposure. Yeah.
Oh, I love this already. It's a great list.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna say detoxing. Detox. You know, doing detox for like your organs, your glands, your blood system, your cellular system. Those things definitely are very helpful for the body.
Like, you know, with what I'm saying now, I just like believe that people understand what I'm talking about there. Good and real food. Good and real food.
That's what we're playing too. Good and real food. I love
We must speak it like that. we see what's out there. We gotta be careful.
Absolutely. You know, it's a micro and macro level effect on us, and it catches up after a while, guys. Catches up. The body.
A haircut.
You say a haircut?
And I haven't had one for over a year, but like I know how a haircut feels like.
Oh, okay. We'll put grooming, you know?
What does grooming mean?
Grooming is just like getting yourself together, getting yourself cleaned up, just that type of stuff.
Yeah.
shaving the beard, whatever it may be. That is a good feeling
Yeah.
for the body.
Using those, I don't know how you call it, the wet toilet paper to really get your ass very clean, not just the dry one, but like the wet one too. It's just like such a life hack.
What is it?
Yeah, like when we're when we're going to toilet and we're done and we sweep our ass, like we got to do it with that wet toilet paper as well. I don't know how you guys call it, what we do with babies as well, like we really see that our ass is clean, we really clean it, I feel a very important part, and I have the feeling that not everyone is following that path.
I mean, yeah, that is a good point, though, for real. It is. Absolutely.
We can put this under grooming. We don't need to put it on there, but get yourself together.
Indigo in the IG comments said, what country are you from? From Scotland. I'm from the US, and Yana is from
Germany. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Deutschland.
We're everywhere at once.
Let's see where I reincarnated, and chose
say
to
massage.
exist. Oh, bro, like I give massages weekly, like to people,
Yeah,
like many days a week, actually, many people a week, and I haven't. You come to say this. It's most times, guys, like we can't see the forest for because of all of the trees. Just so obvious. Massage. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you, brother, I know I find a person on this planet who can
Herbs.
give me a massage the way that I do. Herbs, yes. I'm studying that my entire life and how it feels and how I need to do it. My chakra system, kind of tells me how to do it. It's very magical. Massages, what we can do, how healing it is, how relaxing it is, how we can let go of so many things physically if we know how to touch and how to be touched. The topic touch is just very big for me in my life, because the way that I give massage to the people, the way that I touch them is with care, self-care. Like first I care for myself, and I look that it feels good in my body, what I do with the other person. That means I have to allow myself to fully be in myself to do that. And then I have to be in contact with the other person and feel how the other person is feeling. And really be very, gentle in my movement, even if I'm using more strength and power. Like I can also be very strong, but soft, like soft from the inside, soft as an attitude, very, very important how we touch people. Yeah. Okay, herbs. Big time.
Yeah,
just having my
herbs
herbal tea here. Good stuff.
What kind of tea you
Yes, sir. It's like, lots of herbs from the Alps, actually. From the Italian part. Like my mom is ordering that. She went there many times during holidays, and there's a woman who was collecting them herself, and my mom loved them so much that always now she's ordering them from her. So, and I put 2 pieces of roses in there as well, two roses. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Putting some love in it. Yeah, awesome.
I just had some
Salt baths as well. Yeah, your turn. I shut up.
I just had some Egyptian licorice tea.
Oi,
Egyptian
what's
licorice.
it like?
How do I describe that? It's very difficult to describe. Like it's kind of like a licorice flavor, but it's also just like a spicy, like not like heat spicy, but like a spice type of feel, like a chai spice.
Love that, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, salt baths. Salt baths is a fantastic way to just like release tension in the body, restore your cellular system, and release inflammation as well.
Salt baths, yeah. I've had a few. I'm not having a bath right now, but at work I have one. Like a partner bath, like you can go in with 2 people. You know, so I may just have a salt bath soon. That sounds actually very good.
Yeah, my salt baths too. I'll have some crystals in the tub. And it can be, so another thing too is like, if you're gonna do that, make sure you guys are aware of like what kind of crystals you're putting in the bathtub, just because some of them could leach different chemicals into the tub, or it could actually dissolve and like diminish the crystal. So you just want to be aware of that. But I know like quartz and the quartz family, like citrine, amethyst, things of that nature, you can definitely have in water. A little bit of the more lighter, high vibrational stones typically. But yeah, so I typically do like crystals. I'll put like a few drops of essential oil, whether it's like lavender or frankincense, eucalyptus, and then I usually play some frequencies too. And then I even usually smudge myself before I even get into the tub. And light some candles, potentially, or just be in the dark. And throw the salts in there. It is a whole experience, man. I'm telling you, if you guys really put these tools together, not even just do one tool, but like grab multiple different tools and put them together, you can really give yourself a alchemical experience, that's for sure.
Good stuff, man. Let's go over to the emotions. What do you say?
The emotions. All right. Emotional self-care.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to say therapeutic release. And when I say therapeutic release, that is, having spaces where, you're safe and you're supported, or you're able to individually by yourself, just be able to go through a process of releasing what you're feeling and allowing yourself to sit with it, process it, and allow it to integrate as it needs. And I just could not emphasize how valuable that is, to have safe and sacred spaces to do that, especially whether it's community, family, professionals, whatever it may be. I find tremendous value in being able to have those spaces, and not just having them, but also, stepping into our courage and reaching out for that help if we have it.
Yes. And like, just talk about it. Like, no matter what, this is what I've learned. Just get it off your chest. Say what you want. Do not harm, but like speak Speak about it when you're sad. Speak about it when you're... Don't lie. When people ask you, how are you? Tell them the truth. Don't say you're good when you're not. You know? It's okay to not feel good today. Or a time of day. You know, if I look at what happens on this earth, it doesn't make me feel good. You know, always. So, yeah, solitude, a big thing to just like, you know, be and to reflect, you know, on what you do, how you do it, you know, how you want to show up. Really practice solitude. Oh man, big time.
Yeah. Shout out to Indigo in the IG comments for that one, solitude.
Thank you.
And solitude, yeah, solitude's so good because, like, especially, and this is where like kind of knowing thyself comes in, as in like knowing your archetype, like how your human design is, and like how you process your emotions. For some, you know, solitude is like the biggest tool that we could have to be able to process our emotions. For some, you know, it's having another to be able to support them through it. And it's different for us. So, you know, like I said, for some of us, you know, solitude is all that we need. Like, it's that perfect thing that we need to be able to process what we need to go through. And then for some, they do need somebody else to help them through that. So solitude, very underestimated sometimes, I feel like.
Yeah, when we're not alone, you know, when we're not spending time by ourselves, it's very difficult to know what's yours and what not. So same with what I've said earlier, like you gotta differentiate the others and you know, see the one within all, yes, but differentiate what's yours and what not. You know, what you believe in, what someone else believes in. You know, be really discerning about that, like discernment. This is a big one. Write down discernment, you know, or practicing discernment. Yeah. Because there's judgment and there's discernment, you know. Discernment is so different. So different. Yeah. No, discernment comes with knowing.
Yeah. Those go pretty hand in hand right there. Discernment and cord cutting or cord clearing.
Yeah, you know, I know what you mean. I see a little difference. You know, I feel discernment is like just like way deeper. You know, cord cutting is like so focused on like I need to cut a cord. It's not what I'm trying to say. Like I don't say that there's anything that you need to, I don't know, you know, like for me I just want to focus on like the real thing that helps me moving forward. You know, if I feel like I have a cord towards something, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. You know, it's but yeah, I wouldn't put those two next to each other. But this is how we are different, man. This is you know, all perspective. And the angle from where we're coming from. We gotta be very aware, you know, that there are many truths. It's not that you're right, I'm wrong, you know. It's there are many truths to this, many perspectives. Another great example just here.
Yep. All right. So,
how did you like, you know, are you listening to this music in your free time, or you just got it out for now? I usually don't listen to this type of music. It's very groovy.
Lo-fi? Yeah, I listen to lo-fi every once in a while. A little bit of lo-fi. Grounding? I'd say grounding is a pretty good one for emotions.
Yeah.
Grounding can help bring stability to our emotions. It can help us feel more secure, feel more abundant, as well as have more inner peace within.
Creativity.
Creativity.
Be creative, like create art, draw, sing, play music, have a creative walk outside, go different directions, take a road you've never driven before. So be very creative with things, spontaneous, spontaneity, creativity, spontaneity. Your emotions sometimes as well, they switch spontaneously because something happened, so you got to be able to be spontaneous as well. Go with the emotion, allow yourself to feel it, don't resist it. There's a reason why you feel what you feel, let it in, allow it to be processed, and be inspired. Like taking inspired action is important. This is all what creativity is.
Oh yeah, definitely have to say like just inner child play. Definitely just having fun, inner child play, getting that sacral activated, feeling the innocent energy.
Fasting.
Oh yeah. Definitely have to say meditation.
Yeah.
And I also have to say animal support. Man, animals.
Yeah. No sugar.
No sugar. Oh man. That is no sugar.
Exactly. Capital letters, please.
No sugar.
It messes with your emotions. It messes with your emotions.
Oh yeah.
Sugar messes with your emotions. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. For those who smoke, organic tobacco, pure tobacco. Do not smoke the stuff in the store. If you want, order some organic tobacco. Seriously. So, good stuff. I have it myself. Pure plant medicine, exactly. You're not having the feeling of addiction. You're not having any of that. Like your body is not having the feeling that it needs to have the cigarette. it is changing your life. You can really start enjoying smoking because you don't need it anymore. You know, it's not making you addictive. It's not toxic for you. So we got to stop what's toxic. You know, stop what's toxic. Stop. Again, stop. Stop. Stop.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And you know, there's also like those one-time journeys too, where you take a pure plant medicine like ayahuasca one time, and it completely helps you dissolve your addictions, your patterns, and really just restores your emotional body. So those are also things to do in a safe and sacred environment.
I have a friend of mine. She's actually having her first ayahuasca ceremony right now. Like, it started like today, you know, like a few hours ago. So she might already be on the calm down, or she may have a second dose. Who knows? But you know, just sending some love in that direction.
Yeah. Wow. That's beautiful. I feel that in my heart.
Yeah.
She is journeying into a new phase of herself. How beautiful.
Yeah. You know, it comes to you. You don't have to. You find it. You know, it's on your way if it's meant for you. You know, and if you don't find it, if there is something difficult for you, you know, to move into that direction. Like if it's not working out, you don't need it. You know when you're called to it.
Yeah. Yep. As they say, the mother calls.
The mother calls, yeah. You know.
So that will do it for our list for everybody out there. And like I said earlier, if you guys want to take a picture of it, if you guys want to save it in any type of fashion, feel free. This is absolutely for all of us to be able to use and just have reminders of our conscious gifts and tools. And thank you guys that added to this list. Really appreciate you guys participating. You know, you guys have value, and you guys know some things as well, just as much as we do. So we really value that.
Yes, sir.
She said,
does weed count as?
We actually kind of discussed that a little bit already. Plant medicine.
But like I want to ask the question back. What do you think?
What do I
I
think?
just want to have to her. If it's a her,
it's a complex. It's really a complex. I'll put it on the big screen for you guys while I'm talking to, in case you want to take pictures. So it's kind of like a complex thing for me. It's one of those things where, number one, I feel like it's a unique relationship for each individual, because all of us are going to be affected in different ways from cannabis. And there's really no like, you know, it affects me the same exact way it affects you, especially when it depends on where you're at in your state, kind of health you have, so many different things. For me, as like a full spectrum perspective of it, yes, I absolutely see the pure medicinal values that it has if it's used in sacred, mature ways. And then there's also, you know, the contrast of just like anything else outside of us, that if you abuse it, you overuse it, you know, you can really distort your frequency, you can cloud yourself, and there's just other things as well. But I would say those side effects, at least for me, are pretty damn mild compared to a lot of other things out there. But with that being said, it could still distort you in ways. So that's kind of my stance on it. It's really, I feel like it's up to the individual to figure out what their relationship is with it.
Sure thing. Yeah. yeah, we gotta be aware of what things do with our psyche, and really be observant about that. Like when I'm consuming cannabis as an example, what is it doing with my psyche? Am I judging myself? Am I clean with myself, pure in my intentions of the use of it? What's my intention behind it? Everything is intention, That's why we gotta learn to be, focused and intention with life somehow, yeah, the word tension is an example. Like, if we look at tension in a different way, it's that what pulls us towards each other, the thing that's in between us that pulls us towards each other, that's tension, so there's an electromagnetic field that we're all part of, and that draws us together is tension. So intention, we gotta be intention, we gotta be intentional in our design, in what we do, how we do it, feeling what comes when I do what I do. And the more you do this, you're able to see how others feel when you are around, how you impact other people. When you have that tranquility, when you are that tranquil soul that is pure and innocent, and you allow other people to come into that space, you are a gift for the world, and have the ability to really hold space for the people that you love, help them, truly help them, by simply being yourself, not because you want to help them. No, it's more like a natural thing that occurs when you are yourself. So be in a very intentional space. Again, have an intention when you clean yourself, let the water wash over you. Your intention is to clean yourself. So when you're under the shower and you think about the shit that happened yesterday, because you can't let go, the water can help you to let go. Yeah, you can, anytime, when you tap into who you are, energy hygiene, starts with you. Like, if you want to, in life, really be present with what's going on, no looking back, not making something better than it is, not really being real, being very, very real in what it is. Like, you learn to breathe deeply. You learn to take in life as it is, and exhale, something better, or with your intention, like you let go and you release, and then you breathe in and you allow something new to come in. But like, there's always a giving and a receiving, it's always equal. So in my relationship with life, in my relationship with, my mom, it gotta be equal. If any side feels there's something not right, something is wrong, I don't even like the word wrong. However, we feel it, and we gotta be intentional with the space that I hold within myself, and where I allow others to come in, when I allow others to come in, when it's time to be by myself, solitude, and when it's time to go out and do something, when it's time to meet with my mom, and when it's time to do what we do. Yeah, with anyone in life, with your spouse, you know, with your children, with your children, you know, when they're children, they gotta be with you. But to a certain degree, in a certain age, yeah. But like, who is in my field, and you know, what am I doing with it? It's the best thing, you know, like for people who are starting off on that spiritual path, and like, you know, I don't know my energy field or what's within even feel like. What's it like to be within myself? You can start being just looking around in what you do and in what relationship you are with the things in your life, with the glass you hold in your hand, you know, with this natural tobacco that you have, or that I have, you know, like, what's my relationship with it? Am I honest to myself on why I do it, how I do it? Am I using it or am I abusing it? And then I automatically abuse myself. So, very intentional, you know, the intention is that energy that you hold, that allows the part to come to you, that you know, the part that you desire to come to you, and then you merge. And I truly believe that to be true, you know, because I experience it. And, you know, brother ChristoLight, potentially as well. So yeah, thanks, brother. Grateful to be here with you, yeah.
Yeah, grateful as well. Grateful to be able to allow you to just flow and share. Because I really appreciate what you have to say. It's very, very wisdom filled. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, there is something coming, you know, and we all feel it. So.
Yeah. Buckle up, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, how would you like to close out with doing a little bit of energy healing and relaxation with the collective?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You know, for me, it's time to receive. Are you willing to do that?
Yes, I was actually just thinking that I wanted to.
You know,
Absolutely.
I'm in the last, well, now I have like 8 days within 9 where I kind of wake up, do some for myself, and be there for other people. So, you know, we got to find the balance in all of that. So I'm gratefully receiving the blessing that runs through you.
Yes. With that being said, we will go ahead and take like maybe about like a 3 or 4 minute break. So if you guys want to use the restroom, hydrate, grab some clean water, or set up your altar, crystals, whatever it is, get comfortable for the meditation. We'll be back in like 3-4 minutes, and then we'll get things flowing. All right. So go ahead and get yourselves comfortable. And you can either sit or you can lay down for the practice. And if you are standing, that is okay as well. And as we begin, we will start with our posture. It's moving through the body from head all the way down to toe, loosening up any areas where we may be stiff or holding tension. Beginning at the head. Are we feeling any head pressure? Any pain? Are we feeling dehydrated in the brain? If so, feel free to circulate the breath. And you can use the breath to circulate and hydrate the brain. Making our way down the face, to the cheeks, to the jaw. Just relaxing those areas. And we make our way down to the neck, staying conscious with the breath and possibly rotating the neck, moving it side to side if necessary. Just feeling intuitively with ourselves, just what feels natural. And we'll continue down to the shoulders, relaxing our shoulders down to the side, and then down the arms, relaxing the elbows, maybe even tucking them in a little bit at the side. And down to the forearms and wrist, possibly even rotating our wrist to loosen up the wrist. And then lastly to the hands, making sure our fingers are nice and loose. And as we continue to travel with the breath, we make our way down the torso, the chest, the abdomen, and the back. With the back, maybe even rotating your spine left to right a little bit, circular motion, whatever feels natural to help loosen up the spine. And checking in with our posture as well. We have our spine as straight as we can, but of course not disrupting any physical ailments that we have. And then making our way to the hips. Just kind of feeling into the hips, feeling into the hip chakras. If we feel a heaviness there, just kind of maybe breaking it open, moving the hips a little bit. Just gently softening with the breath. We're making our way down the thighs, down the quads and hamstrings, down to the knees, and down to the the calves, and then down to the feet. Wiggling those toes a little bit, making sure they're not curled, that they're flat. All right, and then staying with the breath as we have now scanned through our physical body. And then now trusting the breath. I am trusting that the breath flowing through me is consciously navigating to the areas of my being that its service is needed. Divine order of the law of one. I trust the breath and its abilities. I am just the guide for it to be present and to be itself in its true form, its true medicine in this plane of my existence. Every breath, this is happening as the I am. So it is as we breathe this beautiful alchemical breath, as we continue along in this meditation, as we will now make our way out of our physical body into the next layer of our aura, which shall be the energy body, the metaphysical etheric body. And we're now going to scan through our chakras and meridians. And we're going to start at the soles of the feet, at the minor chakras at the feet, just cleansing and opening those. And then feeling your roots beginning to spread out of your feet energetically into the earth grid, grounding you into the earth. As they naturally do that on their own, with no expectation, they serve their purpose. And we now make our way up our energy body, making our way to the knees, cleansing the knee chakras, up to the hips, clearing any emotional baggage, any traumatic experiences that we could be storing in the hips in this moment. You are safe to let them go. You are safe to let them go. You are safe to let them go. The breath will be your guide. It will carry you through the release. You may shed tears. You may yell. You may move your body. Whatever you feel natural. Light language. Moving your hands. Staying with the breath. Remembering that you are loved through this process. And that you are being given this process because of love. The ability to be in your power, to feel, to be an alchemist. As we gently stay with the breath, we continue and make our way to the root chakra, the base of the spine, cleansing, purifying this red energy center. As this now begins to open and spread roots as well. Many of these roots make their way into the planetary grid, along with the soles of the feet. for extra stability. And through those roots, it connects like mycelium networks to all other beings of Mother Gaia, giving you the keys and the codes to abundance to be able to flow through up these roots and energetically into your auric field, naturally and organically, as long as you keep this open and clear. Just naturally seeping out any black, gooey gunk of anger, depression, fear, resentment, survival, scarcity, just all oozing and dripping down out of the root chakra through these roots, fertilizing the earth. And yes, fertilizing the earth. And she just gives you her unconditional love in return. Feeling the weight just release from the bottom of our body. So stay with the breath. And we climb the ladder as we make our way to the sacral, the orange energy center. Cleanses, balances, clearing our connection with the outside world, clearing our senses so that we may feel and sense clearly the energy, emotions, information, the codes that come into our system. As well as filling up and replenishing our sacral with a deep, orangey, delicious energy, revitalizing our inner fire, getting our vitality flowing. So we make our way up to the solar plexus, this yellow center. Continues to expand. Begins to shine brighter as it stimulates the stomach, the second brain. Feeling that inner warmth as a inner certainty, a inner essence of confidence, of purpose, of life. And may that be your self-worth. May that be your value. That you have that within you. Always. It could get dampened, it could get buried, but it's there. Making our way up as we rise to the heart chakra, the green energy center. Clearing our connection with balanced emotions. Therefore, creating the experience, the fluidity of unconditional love, of the higher and lower planes as one. This is flowing through me. I am. And it just dissolves away the grudges that we are holding on to. Why are we holding on to these grudges? Who cares anymore? We are here now. We will let them live. Let ourselves live. We all make mistakes. We all have shadows. We all have addictions, attachments, and other things that we have experienced. May we give grace to our adversaries, our families, our friends, those that want to call ourselves enemies. Just know that they're just a reflection in a temporary time. Then we make our way up to the throat, where we now begin to clear the passageway for us to express this into the world and tell that truth that you may have been stuffing to please others. But what turns out to be what we think is pleasing could be karmic generating, could be hindering the lesson to be learned. So may we just allow ourselves to feel our intuition and honor our intuition as well of, is this where I need to be? Is this where I need to be giving my energy and time? Do I have proper boundaries so that this person knows the behaviors that I like to have around me or towards me? Am I expressing properly? Am I communicating fully? Or am I assuming instead of asking questions? Am I retaining the information that's being told to me? Or am I projecting on my own beliefs? Whatever it may be, I reclaim balance to my throat. And we rise to the third eye. Between the brows at this indigo energy center. With every breath, I am bridging my hemispheres. With every breath, I am bridging my hemispheres. I am releasing belief of the polarities as the truth. I am embracing wholeness as my perspective. The glands in my brain are restoring and are balancing chemically with every breath. With every breath, I bring harmony to my neurons. I shall discern my beliefs. I shall discern the thought patterns I continue to repeat. I shall discern the limitations that I may place upon myself or others, or on the collective. Instead, I allow myself to be open to quantum possibility with the source for all angles, myself, others, the collective. It's all open to quantum possibility. As we make our way to the crown, thousand petal lotus begins to regenerate and raise on top of the crown, vortexing and allowing the higher lights to be able to seep through even more into our vessel. And as we receive this light, it gives us the reminder that this is who I am. Any moment, all moments, this is here to access. It's possible. Because that's who I am. It's me. Of course I can receive myself in the vessel I created. And now, feeling our magnetism radiate and flow through our being and through our column as it continuously rotates, solidifies, crystallizes our aura in our Merkaba. It begins to naturally build a 12th dimensional platinum white light and golden shield, and that rotates with your field. And now you are the one in control of the consent of that field, and it is in your hands and your accountability on what comes in and out of that field. Nobody else, because you are a powerful and beautiful sovereign being. When you're ready, you may begin to navigate your way consciously to your physical body and come back into your environment. And with that, that brings us to the close of episode 7 of this Friday expedition. Spiritual hygiene, self-care.
Thank you, sir.
It's an honor. Thank you.
Much needed. Beautiful.
Any closing words, brother?
You know, time for humanity to breathe. Yes, sir. So I think next week, I just had addiction came up, when we had the meditation. I let you decide what we're going to talk about. I'm a pretty responding nature. So
Next week?
to have
well, last week, I believe we decided that episode 8 was going to be creative art and fun as well.
Okie dokie.
Did you still want to do that?
Easy. I just pull something out here.
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk about some art, expression, maybe do some live, and just have some beautiful connection through that. So if you guys want to join us next week on Friday, you guys can bring your art supplies, bring your creativity, and do it from where you're at and listening and tapping in. And we'll bring art to the table as well and have a creative, fun, artistic flow.
Yes, sir. There you go. Okay, so guys, see you next time. And, integration is needed. Solitude is needed for all of us these days. So take the time and sit with yourself and do what you need to do. And sometimes it's just doing nothing and listening. So, yes.
I hear you on that. So yeah, take care of you guys. Take care of yourself, guys. Hydrate well after this. Take care of yourself. If you have a lot of energy you've been moving through, shower or bath is really good to use. But Friday, it will be at 3 p.m. Eastern for all of you guys. 3 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Wholeness and balanced love. Have a blessed day or night, everybody.